I spent 24 hours in Romania's most cursed castle. What I found will haunt you forever. This castle has been abandoned for 73 years. When historians finally entered, they discovered why no one returns. Romanian locals refuse to even look at this castle. Here's the terrifying truth they're hiding. Everyone who enters dies within 7 days, inside Romania's deadliest castle. I didn't believe in curses until I explored this Romanian castle. Now I can't sleep. There's a castle in the heart of Transylvania that locals refuse to name after dark. Not Dracula's brand, not the tourist traps with gift shops and guided tours. This one doesn't appear in brochures. The Romanian government sealed it in 1968. No explanation given, no records released. And for over 50 years, the iron gates have remained chained shut. But the question isn't why they locked it, it's what they locked inside. The castle stands in the Apuseni Mountains, southwest of Cluj-Napoca. Built in 1432 by Voivode Mircea Călugăru, Mircea the monk, a nobleman who abandoned his title to join a monastery, only to return years later, changed. He commissioned the castle on land no one wanted. The foundation sits above a network of limestone caves that locals called the Mouth of the Earth. Construction took 11 years. 43 workers died during the build, most from accidents. Some simply disappeared. The castle was completed in 1443. Mircea moved in with his household staff. Within 6 months, every single servant had fled. They left everything behind, clothes still hanging in wardrobes, food rotting on tables. Mircea lived there alone for another 30 years. When he died in 1473, his body wasn't discovered for weeks. The strange part? His journal was found on his desk. The final entry, dated the day he died, contained only 7 words, written over and over. They are still here. They never left. After Mircea's death, the castle changed hands 17 times in 2 centuries. No family stayed longer than 3 years. In 1521, the Drucălești family, distant relatives of Vlad the Impaler, purchased the estate. Within 14 months, the entire family was dead. Official records cite plague, but the village priest's private letters tell a different story. He wrote that the family was found in their beds, faces frozen in expressions of absolute terror. No signs of illness, no signs of violence, just fear. The castle sat empty for decades. In 1672, the Austrian Empire converted it into a military garrison. Soldiers lasted 6 weeks. Their commander reported incidents of mass hallucination and unexplained illnesses affecting morale. The garrison was abandoned. By the 1800s, the castle had become local legend. Peasants claimed to see lights in the windows at night. Travelers reported hearing music, a woman singing in a language no one recognized. In 1847, a French archaeologist named Antoine Bouchard received permission to study the castle. He arrived with 3 assistants and enough supplies for a month. They set up camp in the Great Hall. Bouchard kept detailed notes. The first week, excitement about architectural discoveries. The second week, complaints about disturbing dreams. The third week, his handwriting deteriorates. He writes about voices in the walls and the woman in the eastern tower. On day 23, his final entry, "We were wrong to come here. This place remembers. It remembers everything." Bouchard and his team were found 3 days later by local shepherds. All 4 men were alive, but none of them could speak. They lost the ability, not from physical trauma, their vocal cords were intact. Doctors called it hysterical mutism. Bouchard spent the rest of his life in a sanatorium in Lyon. He never spoke again, but he drew thousands of sketches, all of the same thing, a doorway beneath the castle, and something standing in it. The Romanian government took interest in 1921. A team of historians was sent to catalog the castle's contents before it was potentially converted into a museum. The team discovered something in the castle's foundation, a sealed chamber, not on any of the original architectural plans. The door was iron, 2 feet thick, and covered in symbols that didn't match any known Romanian tradition. Some were Orthodox, some were far older, pre-Christian. Against protocol, they opened it. Inside was a spiral staircase descending into the mountain. The air that escaped was described as wrong, not cold, not hot, just wrong. 2 researchers went down. They had ropes, lights, radio equipment. 30 meters down, their lights failed. 60 meters down, the radios went silent. At 90 meters, they stopped responding entirely. The team above pulled on the ropes. Only 1 man came back up. His partner's rope had been cut. Not frayed, cut clean through. The surviving researcher was taken to hospital. He refused to say what he saw, but the medical report notes something unusual. His hair had turned completely white. He was 26 years old. 3 days later, he walked out of the hospital. His body was found a week later in the forest. He'd hanged himself from a tree within sight of the castle. The government sealed the chamber. Then they sealed the castle. In 1968, during Ceausescu's regime, the military erected a fence around the entire property. No trespassing signs in 3 languages. Armed guards patrolled for 2 years. Then, without explanation, the guards were withdrawn. The fence remained, the chains remained, but no one was watching anymore. So what is this place? The rational explanations point to geology. The castle sits above one of the largest cave systems in the Carpathians. Limestone caves are known for unusual acoustic properties. Wind moving through tunnels can sound like voices. Temperature changes can create feelings of dread. Electromagnetic anomalies in certain rock formations have been linked to hallucinations. Perhaps that explains the experiences. Perhaps. But it doesn't explain the physical evidence. Cut rope, the researchers who lost their voices, the consistent reports across 5 centuries. Historians offer a different theory. They point to Mircea Călugăru's time in the monastery. Medieval monks were known to practice extreme asceticism, fasting, sleep deprivation, isolation. Some sought visions, some found them. There are records of Mircea being expelled from his monastery. The reasons were never recorded, but within a year, he'd built his castle on land the locals avoided, above caves they believed were cursed. What did he find down there, or what found him? Local folklore provides the darkest explanation. The villages around the castle have stories passed down for generations. They say the mountain was hollow before the castle was built, that ancient people used the caves for rituals modern Christianity tried to erase. They say Mircea didn't just build a castle, he built a lid, a seal. And seals aren't meant to keep things out, they're meant to keep things in. In 2003, a group of urban explorers bypassed the fence. They had cameras. They documented everything. The footage was uploaded to an early file-sharing site. It showed the exterior, the courtyard, the main hall. Then the camera enters a corridor. The image distorts. Audio becomes static. The last clear frame shows a doorway and a figure standing in it. Tall, thin, wrong proportions. The video ends. The explorers were found 2 days later, 3 kilometers away, all suffering from severe hypothermia in July. They had no memory of what happened after entering the castle. Their cameras were gone, their phones were dead, but their hands were covered in limestone dust, the kind found deep underground. The questions don't have answers. Why did 43 workers die during construction? What did Mircea mean by "they never left"? Why did an entire family die of fear in their sleep? What's in the chamber beneath the castle? Why did the government seal it and then walk away? In 2019, a Romanian journalist submitted a Freedom of Information request. She wanted the 1921 expedition records. The government denied the request. Their response was unusual. They didn't say the records were classified. They said the records do not exist and have never existed. But she found something else. Building permits from 1969, the year after the castle was sealed. The permits were for structural reinforcement of the castle's foundation, specifically the installation of additional security measures to ensure chamber integrity. They didn't just seal the castle, they reinforced the seal, as if they were afraid something might break through. Local rangers avoid the area, not because of regulations, because of what they've seen. Park Ranger Andrei Popescu spoke on condition of anonymity in 2015. He patrols the forest around the castle. "You can feel it from half a kilometer away," he said. "The forest goes quiet. Animals won't cross the invisible line. I've seen deer run into trees trying to turn away. And at night, sometimes, you hear it. Music. Old music, like from centuries ago. And singing. A woman's voice. Beautiful, but wrong. Like it's coming from underwater." He was asked if he'd ever investigated. "Once," he said, "I got to the fence, the gates, and I felt it, this pull, like something was inviting me in. That's when I knew. Whatever's in there, it's patient. It's been waiting a long time, and it can wait longer." The cursed castle of Romania stands exactly as it has for decades, chained, sealed, forgotten by maps and guidebooks, but not empty, because every few years, someone tries. Someone cuts the fence. Someone breaks the chains. Someone walks through those gates. Most are found within hours, wandering the forest, disoriented but alive. Some aren't found at all. In 2018, a young couple from Bucharest went missing near the mountains. Their car was found parked 300 meters from the castle fence. Their phones were inside, their luggage untouched. Police searched for 2 weeks, no trace, until a hiker found something 6 months later. A shoe, just one, inside the castle courtyard, on the wrong side of the sealed gates. The case remains open. The castle remains sealed. And somewhere in the archives of the Romanian government, there's a file. A file that doesn't officially exist, with a single instruction passed down through administrations. Do not open, do not study, do not discuss. Maintain seal integrity. Monitor perimeter. Report anomalies to classification level above your clearance. If seal is compromised, do not enter. Await instructions that will not come. The villages around the castle have their own instruction, passed from parent to child, older than the government, older than the country. Some doors were closed for a reason. Some locks were meant to last forever. And some places remember what we've forgotten. They remember what we were afraid of before we had science to explain it away, before we had electricity to light the dark. They remember the old fears, the true fears. The castle still stands. The chamber beneath it still waits. And on certain nights, when the wind moves through the Apuseni Mountains in just the right way, you can still hear it. The singing, a woman's voice, rising from beneath the stone, from beneath the seal, from beneath everything we've built to keep the darkness out. Or perhaps, to keep the darkness in.